Right, grab your morning brew because we're about to dive into the immigration debate that's got Britain more twisted than a pretzel in a washing machine. While our politicians have been playing musical chairs with failed policies, there's a revolutionary idea floating around that's so blindingly obvious, it's almost insulting that nobody's implemented it yet. We're talking about a complete overhaul of Britain's immigration system, and surprise, surprise, the blueprint already exists in Asia. But here's the kicker, it actually works. Did you know that over 95% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel? We totally get it, life gets busy, and sometimes it's easy to forget. But here's the thing, subscribing is completely free, and it really helps us keep creating the content you enjoy. So why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? It only takes a second, but it makes a world of difference to us. Thank you for your support. Picture this, you're watching the same soap opera for decades where the characters keep making the same mistakes, the plot never progresses, and somehow the writers convince you this is peak entertainment. That's British immigration policy in a nutshell. We've had Labour promising to fix it, Conservatives swearing they'll sort it, and now Reform UK stepping into the ring claiming they've got the magic formula. But here's where it gets interesting. What if someone actually has a solution that doesn't involve shouting matches in Parliament or virtue signaling on Twitter? The core proposal on the table is beautifully simple. A comprehensive work permit system that would become the only legal pathway for migration into Britain. Not another half-baked scheme layered on top of existing chaos, but a complete replacement that would make immigration work for the economy while keeping numbers manageable. Think of it as upgrading from a Nokia 3310 to an iPhone, same basic function, completely different level of sophistication. But wait, there's more. This isn't some pie-in-the-sky theoretical nonsense dreamed up by think tank wonks who've never lived in the real world. Japan, Singapore, South Korea, and Taiwan have been running variations of this system for years. And guess what? They're not dealing with integration crises, welfare dependency issues, or the social cohesion problems that keep British politicians awake at night. These countries have figured out how to meet their economic needs without turning immigration into a national emergency every election cycle. The genius of the Asian model lies in its clarity and control. Workers come in on time-limited permits, contribute to the economy, and then most return home when their permits expire. Only a select few earn the privilege of long-term settlement. It's immigration with an expiry date, which means you get the economic benefits without the long-term complications. Think of it as renting a house versus buying one. Sometimes you just need the space temporarily, and that's perfectly fine. Now, here's where Reform UK could potentially outmaneuver every other party in British politics. Instead of the usual immigration debate that sounds like a broken record of "we're not racist but..." and "we need to be compassionate," however, they could present a grown-up policy that satisfies business needs while addressing public concerns. It's the political equivalent of finding a £20 note in your old jacket. You weren't expecting it, but you're certainly not complaining. The beauty of this approach is that it completely disarms the usual critics. How do you cry racism when the door isn't slamming shut, just getting a proper security system? How do you claim it's anti-business when it's specifically designed to meet labor market needs? It's like bringing a chess set to a checkers game. Suddenly everyone else looks like they're playing with toy soldiers. But let's add another layer of brilliance to this sandwich. Britain could couple this work permit system with what's being called Commonwealth preference, essentially giving priority to countries that share our monarch. Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Jamaica, and others could get the VIP treatment in this new system. It's not just about shared history. These are countries with compatible legal systems, similar cultural frameworks, and established ties that make integration smoother than a freshly waxed bowling alley. This Kanzik idea has been floating around for years, like that friend who always talks about starting a band but never quite gets around to it. Britain already has youth visa schemes with Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, so the infrastructure exists. It's just a matter of scaling up and making it official policy. Imagine being able to work in Sydney, study in Toronto, or retire in Auckland with the same ease as moving from London to Edinburgh. That's not just immigration policy, that's building bridges with countries that actually want to work with us. What makes this particularly delicious is watching traditional politicians try to explain why they never thought of this before. We've had decades of governments promising to fix immigration while basically rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Meanwhile, countries across Asia have been quietly running efficient, controlled systems that benefit everyone involved. It's like watching someone struggle with a jar of pickles while their neighbor has had an electric jar opener the whole time. The current system is so broken it makes a chocolate teapot look functional. We've got rules that permit unlimited illegal immigration in practice, legal pathways that nobody understands, and enforcement that's about as effective as a paper umbrella in a hurricane. The result? A system that satisfies nobody, helps nobody, and somehow manages to be both too generous and too restrictive at the same time. Restrictive and too permissive at the same time. Reform UK, positioning themselves as the party of work permits and Commonwealth preference, could be the political masterstroke that nobody saw coming. While Labour and Conservatives continue their eternal dance of blame-shifting and virtue signalling, Reform could present actual solutions. It's the difference between complaining about the weather and actually bringing an umbrella. The economic argument practically writes itself. Businesses get the workers they need when they need them, the government maintains control over numbers and ensures integration isn't overwhelmed, and workers get clear pathways and defined expectations. It's a win-win-win situation, which is rarer in politics than a unicorn riding a bicycle. What's particularly frustrating is that this isn't rocket science. The template exists, the evidence is clear, and the benefits are obvious. The only mystery is why British politicians have spent decades reinventing the wheel when they could have just looked at what works elsewhere. It's like watching someone try to build a car from scratch while standing in a BMW showroom. The enforcement angle is equally compelling. Instead of trying to police an impossibly complex system with more loopholes than a Swiss cheese convention, you create clear rules with clear consequences. Overstay your work permit. Bye-bye, and don't let the door hit you on the way out. It's immigration policy with actual teeth, not the gummy smile we've been dealing with for years. Critics will inevitably cry that this is too harsh, too controlled, too something or other. But here's the thing, it works. Asia's first world countries aren't dealing with immigration crises because they never let immigration become a crisis in the first place. Prevention is better than cure, and controlled systems are better than chaotic ones. It's common sense wrapped in policy paper. The timing couldn't be better either. Brexit was supposed to give Britain control over its borders, but so far, it's been more like giving someone the keys to a car without teaching them how to drive. This work permit system would finally deliver on that promise of controlled immigration while maintaining economic benefits. It's Brexit with actual benefits, imagine that. The Commonwealth angle adds another layer of genius because it's impossible to attack without sounding ridiculous. These are our allies, our trading partners, our family members scattered across the globe. Giving them preference isn't discrimination, it's common sense. When you're choosing who to invite to dinner, you probably start with people you actually like and trust. What's beautiful about this whole proposal is its simplicity. No complex point systems, no bureaucratic nightmares, no policies that require a law degree to understand. You want to work in Britain? Get a work permit. You want to stay long-term? Prove you deserve it. You're from a Commonwealth country. You get priority consideration. Done. It's immigration policy that fits on a postcard. The social cohesion benefits are equally impressive. When you control numbers and ensure most migration is temporary, you avoid the integration challenges that have plagued other European countries. Communities aren't overwhelmed, services aren't stretched beyond breaking point, and society maintains a stability that allows generous immigration policies to exist in the first place. This could genuinely be the morning again moment for British politics. After decades of failed policies and broken promises, here's a system that could actually work. It's not about slamming doors or building walls, it's about installing proper door locks and security systems. The difference between paranoia and prudence is having a plan that actually functions. The uniparty establishment must be terrified of proposals like this because they expose just how inadequate their solutions have been. While they've been arguing about quotas and caps and emergency brakes, other countries have been quietly running efficient systems that benefit everyone. It's embarrassing on a national scale. So there you have it, a complete reimagining of British immigration that borrows the best ideas from countries that actually know what they're doing. Work permits for economic needs, Commonwealth preference for natural allies, and strict enforcement to maintain public confidence. It's not just policy, it's a glimpse of what competent government might actually look like. Will Reform UK have the courage to make this their flagship policy? Will the British public finally demand politicians who solve problems instead of just talking about them? And most importantly, will our morning coffee taste better when we're not constantly stressed about yet another immigration crisis dominating the headlines? That's all from your daily dose of political caffeine here at Alert View. If this breakdown helped clarify the madness, smash that like button harder than a politician dodging accountability. Subscribe for your daily fix of political analysis that cuts through the nonsense, and drop a comment telling us whether you think this work permit system could actually save British immigration policy, or if it's just another beautiful theory that'll get murdered by political reality. Until tomorrow's